Hey guys, Matt here. This is my review of Sinners. This movie is directed by Ryan Coogler, who previously directed Creeds 1 and 2, the Black Panther movies, and Fruitvale Station. This movie stars Michael B. Jordan, Haley Steinfeld, and Miles Canton. Now, the plot of this movie revolves around two twin brothers, Smoke and Stack, or as they're called, the Smokestack Twins. And here they decide to come into Mississippi and open up their own juke joint, their own, black Southern style club, if you will. But outside forces try to stop them, aside from racism, rival gangs, and their biggest threat, vampires. Now, when I first saw the trailer to this movie, I was like, oh wow, this is a different take on the way vampire movies are usually delivered. We had Abigail that was done last year that was a different take on vampirism. And then we had Nosferatu. And so now we had this. We had the Southern style vampire type movie with Michael B. Jordan, one of the hottest actors working right now. And then when you have Ryan Coogler in the mix, the director of Black Panther, I was like, all right, we're going to get something special from this movie. And having seen the movie, I can say that this movie was a pleasant surprise. The approach of vampires was a nice addition to the marketing of this movie, but I really liked how this film took the aspects of music and race and religion and rolled them all together. I will say that this movie was quite long, and I felt this movie was better serviced as a serious drama into these two brothers and the world they live in, as opposed to a vampire movie, because the vampire stuff doesn't happen until like the third act of the film, and I'm not going to exactly compare it to From Dusk Till Dawn, but if you look at that movie, you have the story of the Gecko brothers, and then you have the stuff with the vampires, and if you look at those two story arcs, they're completely different. Now, I liked this movie. The acting in it was really good, but to market this film as a vampire story and only have the vampire stuff at the end of the movie has me questioning those choices. Now, I will say that the things done with the vampires was really intriguing, with the glowing eyes and the musical aspect to it. I thought that was neat, but that third act, along with a weird mid-credit scene, or at least a mid-credit scene that I didn't fully understand, had me questioning the potential of this movie. Now on to the acting of this movie. So even though Michael B. Jordan is the biggest star in this film and the movie is centered around him and the two characters he plays, the main character of this movie, the character the story really evolves around, is a kid named Sammy, or Preacher Boy, played by Miles Canton. And believe it or not, this is his first film. He plays this young man that the movie starts out with, and then it flashes back to the events of the story that we get. And I will say that Miles Canton is this young, youthful kid that wants to experience life and love and music his way, was really good. His voice was a little off-putting because, his build and his voice don't exactly match up, but I liked this character. Michael B. Jordan as the two twin brothers, Smoke, who is the more outgoing, the one that wears the red and the hat with the grills. He's the more friendly, the more talkative one, more almost outgoing of the two brothers. And then Smoke is the quiet, serious, the one that wears the blue, the one that wears the cap. He's the more business-prone brother of the two. They were fine. I thought only a few moments in the movie did I take them as two different people, because they both had these scenes where they'd be talking to somebody, and then get real quiet, real serious, talking about love and their relationships. And it was like, aside from their appearances and how they carried themselves, it was kind of hard to tell they were two different people. But I will say that because of the fates of these characters, I'm glad that Michael B. Jordan got to play two different roles, because he gets to do two different things in this movie. Watch the movie and you'll see. But I thought that was neat. Haley Steinfeld in this film, she's always good. I've always liked her ever since True Grit, way back when. And here, it was nice to see Haley Steinfeld as, once again, this strong white woman. But here, she's more sexual than we normally see her, which is a plus. But also, I liked her character. There's another female love interest in this movie that I'm glad that this movie was able to balance the relationships and, you know, people in their past, as well as the music and religion and race aspect, all rolled into one. I really liked the way this movie took on, you know, how society was in the 30s, about dealing with church and the Klan and business and just the way society was. This movie was a nice encapsulation of that. It reminded me a lot of a movie called The Great Debaters with Denzel Washington, where characters would have these get-togethers, but they'd always have that outside threat looming about, hey, any minute, you know, certain people could come and disrupt this gathering, which I liked that aspect of it. And this movie had a nice supporting cast as well. I forget the actor's name, but he played a character named Cornbread. I've been watching that actor since he was a younger kid, and it was nice to see him in another movie. Delroy Lindo is in this movie as well, and he's always a pleasure to see on screen. I mean, every time I see him, though, I just think of him going, Memphis Reigns, from Gone in 60 Seconds. But it's always nice to see him. I think he was most recently in a Spike Lee movie about Vietnam vets, which was really good. If you haven't checked that out, I'll put the name in the video here. Yeah, this movie had Jack O'Connell in it as the main vampire, and I've always liked him as well, ever since Unbroken. Him and the vampires were really well done. As an addition to this movie, I thought it was a little out of place because this film was marketed as, you know, a vampire movie. So if you'd expected the vampires to make their appearances or their presence felt early on, I think this movie would have flowed better. But because they only are entered in like the third act of the movie, you're kind of like, oh yeah, I forgot this was a vampire movie. The metaphors in this movie for the different music styles was really cool. There's a certain scene where a performer is entertaining this crowd in the club, and then I'll say the crowd and the atmosphere starts to transform, which was a little odd, but I get the point that Ryan Coogler was going for. They were talking about, you know, music and how it can transcend space and time, and they took it a little too literal for me, but it was an interesting concept. I like how the movie opened up with, you know, a history lesson about different religions and what they believe, and how some people believe in demons or this group or that group or the occult or what have you. That was a nice mixture. This movie was basically blues, music, and blood. And if you like the carnage and the violence, you're going to like the vampire stuff. But the other part of the movie, the music and how it can transform and affect people, I really like that aspect of it. This movie had a really, really good soundtrack. There's a couple scenes that reminded me of Baby Driver where you had a character, you know, that would be strumming a guitar. And then while that's happening, simultaneously, you'd have a character trying to strike a match at the same tempo. And I thought that was really cool. So, because this movie was a good character drama like Lawless, but then it becomes From Dusk Till Dawn, to me it was a little off-putting. I felt it should have been one or the other sooner rather than later. So because of that, because Michael B. Jordan is good, the supporting cast is good, the look, the tone, and the feel of this movie is good for the most part. And then the vampire stuff happens, and then it becomes a, what's a vampire? How do you kill it? What are the methods? Teach us about it. And it was a little weird for me. So the movie was good, but I wouldn't rush out to see it again. And so because of that, I'm going to give Sinners a C+. I enjoyed it, but some aspects just weren't for me. So until next time, guys, see ya.